having an opinion on an anime is dangerous in itself. If you think an anime is good, everyone's gonna criticize you and say it sucks. Jesus, my lord. You better not think an anime is okay. Otherwise, that's it. That is it. So, anime characters are no different. If you think an anime character is good, everyone is gonna hate you. And if you think an anime character is bad, everyone is gonna hate you. And One Piece, the most popular piece of fiction ever, is no different. And you guys know exactly what it is. You clicked on the video. Zoro, Sanji, let's get into it. Sanji had his moment in the sun a couple of weeks ago. He had his fight with Queen. Animation, beautiful. Zoro just had his fight with King. And of course, here it comes. Zoro is better than Sanji. Of course, everyone has a very polarized opinion on this debate. I'm going to get into why, and why everyone thinks Sanji is better, and why everyone thinks Zoro is better. So, let's get into it. The nature of this is going to come naturally because, of course, Sanji and Zoro are rivals throughout the show too. They bicker amongst themselves, as well as the fact they're the wings of the Pirate King that is Luffy, and each of them appeal to a different part of Luffy. And of course, character feats and who's stronger than who plays into it as well to some extent. So the debate happens all the time, and everyone bickers who's better, who has more depth, who's stronger. And there's a lot of things that you can juggle and some solid points to be made, but I'm going to get into Sanji first. Okay, Sanji is you. Sanji has a lot of issues that a lot of regular people has. He has an abusive father, he has abusive siblings, he has issues with women, he has issues with strength, he feels like he's not fulfilled, he was always alone, he's only good at like one thing, and he at times gets messed up really bad and doesn't want to ask for help. And in many ways, that's what makes a lot of people relate to Sanji, because a lot of this came in an arc that we all know is called Whole Cake Island, and we saw that progression throughout the story of him struggling, having to be forced to live a life that he did not want to live, that Judge was imposing onto him. And he finally thought it was okay with Pudding and thought, okay, it'll all work out. And at that point, he had already turned his back on his friend and his crew. There's times he felt he was not strong enough, and he was also not strong enough to protect his friends from his family. And then Pudding stabs him in the back and hates him, and he hears it, and she wants to kill him. And Sanji, at that moment, it just feels like nothing can go right for this guy, and that's what causes so many people to relate to him. Zoro is who you think you are when you're in the shower having a fake argument with yourself, or driving home in your car having a fake argument with the person next to you. Zoro, in many ways, is him. Zoro is a badass character that is super strong, super subtle, has funny moments. He's drinking, Robin likes him, everyone likes Zoro. He has 3 swords, he slashes the air. You even see in Water 7, everyone is fanboying over Zoro, and for good reason. Zoro is sick, he has a cut in his eye, he wears a do-rag, and of course, more than anything, bro does not discriminate for anybody. He'll square up on any race. Right? Any race? Right? His backstory is also kind of cool with the girl, but like we don't really see the girl, and he doesn't really think about her too often past Alabasta. I think Oda might have just forgot about that one, or doesn't really know what he wants to do with that one. But for some reason, we didn't get much more in Wano, which absolutely sucked. And that leads me into why people don't like the characters. People don't like Zoro because there's a lack of depth there too, because you expected this grand backstory in Wano, and of course we got a little bit of how he learned how to fight. We get much more, and Oda revealed it all in an SBS, so you kind of have to assume it's not going to matter, right? Because why would he not reveal Zoro of the 3-sword style in Wano with all of the samurai that fight with swords? You know what I mean? Like, what is he doing? Like, why did we not get that backstory? So what? What? That makes no sense. So, of course, that's going to make a lot of people think that Sanji has a lot more depth, because we had a whole arc of Sanji, and Zoro is very simplified in that fact. As well as the fact that some people may feel Zoro is not a real character because he obviously doesn't have as many human elements as Sanji too, which causes people to think Sanji is better. But I think too, you can't forget about some of the moments that how Zoro was acting when Usopp left the crew, and the way Zoro was talking to Usopp, the way Zoro convinced Luffy that he cannot let Usopp back into the crew, it really showed his true nature, and he is the vice captain of the ship. As well as the fact that nothing happened is a top 1 moment in One Piece. That is when you really understood Zoro's true character. Sanji, a lot of people don't like Sanji. Well, so people really are trying to defend Sanji's gag. Look, if you like it, you like it. I don't see how you cannot find it obnoxious and annoying. That is one reason people don't like Sanji. It's just a really annoying gag. Some people, the moment where he beat up Luffy didn't connect with them. The main reason, as you can tell from how I analyzed Zoro and how I talked about Zoro, Zoro is clearly the number 2 and Sanji is the number 3. So some people are obviously going to favor the stronger character, and also Sanji has some stuff that Oda forgot about too, especially in the fact that he doesn't really cook, and his dream of finding the all blue, even though a lot of the Straw Hats' dreams are completely disregarded, his is really hard to follow. There's been almost no progression on it whatsoever. It's probably going to come back at the end of the story, but it would have hit a lot harder if we saw some progression towards it in a unique way. Whereas we see Zoro, obviously his has become the best swordsman in the world, so we're obviously every time he gets stronger, we're going to see that progression. A lot of Sanji's matchups and arcs, some people didn't like as much either, and he just doesn't seem as strong, and his power-up is a raid suit, like an object. It's not as cool as Zoro training on his own. So that's where a lot of the debate comes from, but I don't think strength, in terms of character debates, is really taken heavily into account with who people like. I think it's mainly the stuff with the characters within that I was talking about, and their literal nature, that really is what makes people draw their conclusions. Make sure the comments are absolute chaos. Let's have a battle in there. Let's figure this situation out, and that is all I have for you guys today. We're just getting started. We're going to stay consistent, and I will see you in the next video.